Right now on Real Talk, booms, busts, and Bitcoin.
I became a millionaire in just 1 year.
I personally lost over $2.2 million worth of Bitcoin.
With the world of crypto on a relentless roller coaster ride, some critics are concerned about the dangers of the digital currency.
A lot of illegality is creeping into the crypto transactions.
But others argue the benefits outweigh the costs.
Cryptocurrency doesn't take weekend hours or holidays. It's fast.
A look at the rise and fall of cryptocurrency and the real-world uses right here in Colorado.
Welcome to Real Talk with Denver7 and CPR News. I'm Denver7's Micah Smith.
And I'm Colorado Public Radio's Nathan Heffel. Each week in a partnership between Denver7 and CPR, we'll have a real talk about issues impacting underrepresented people across Colorado.
Today we're talking about the world of cryptocurrency. Even for skeptics, the digital tokens have become hard to ignore.
Once thought to be the future of finance, crypto has been plagued by a cycle of sharp highs followed by steep lows. And by now you've probably seen those viral videos showing average people making huge returns on investments while others have lost it all.
It's not a surprise the digital currency is very volatile. It's not regulated by a central government or bank. Instead, it's backed by an online distributed database known as the blockchain. Cryptocurrency holders can send transactions in seconds without waiting periods or paying fees to an intermediary.
Now, Bitcoin emerged as the very first cryptocurrency back in 2009 in response to the Great Recession. It marked a new era of finance and soon paved the way for alternative cryptocurrencies like Ethereum and Dogecoin.
The idea at the time was that these cryptocurrencies could be used to help bridge the global wealth gap by providing access to resources to the population who lacked access to general banking and other financial services. However, critics say crypto instead promotes inequality and concentration of wealth.
Data company Statista says American adults with high incomes are much more likely to hold crypto as an investment tool than adults with lower incomes, and the concerns about crypto just doesn't stop there.
I spoke to MSU professor of economics Kishore Kulkarni to find out more.
Dr. Kulkarni, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
So today we're talking about cryptocurrency. There's been a lot going on, especially with Bitcoin. Can you explain kind of the current climate we're in with cryptocurrency?
Well, right now we have a lot of exchanges happening in cryptocurrencies and Bitcoins and all other related changes. So we have transactions going on, and many of them are not very well regulated because there is no regulatory authority which is controlling all these transactions. But because the size is increasing, and a lot of countries in the world are accepting that now as a legal transaction, in US we need to start thinking about it, what to do with it.
Yeah. What's behind this surge in interest?
Well, I think it is very convenient. People find it very convenient. Well, there are unwanted transactions also because you don't pay taxes on that, and they are not really tapped very well. So a lot of illegality is creeping into the crypto transactions. For example, very recently, my son-in-law has a business which got cyber attack, and they wanted ransom. And they said, pay it in Bitcoins, because if you don't do that, then they will find out who we are and all. So that type of thing is happening. And in fact, recently the healthcare got attacked also, cyber attack, same thing. The payment has to be in the Bitcoin.
Wow, that sounds very, very risky.
Correct.
I would assume too, if you're trying to purchase or invest in cryptocurrency, there are risks involved there. Can you talk about those risks?
Very true. Well, just because some countries have made it legal, it was expected that this could be a substitute for regular currencies, and therefore people were very excited about this, and that's why the stock went up. And EU, for example, has made it legal last year, and that's why Bitcoins and all are getting more speculative kind of investment in there, and that's why the price is going up.
Wow. I think in general there obviously is interest, but a lot of people don't know exactly how it works. Do you think that's kind of by design a little bit?
Well, not necessarily by design, but it is by the natural process. I think the way it was invented as a blockchain and a secret formula. Most of these transactions were secret, and they still are. And therefore, we need to investigate that further, find out a way to regulate it.
What would be the best way to go about that?
Well, I think it's a job of the Congress and the President and also the Federal Reserve to decide which way they want to. And I'm quite sure they are thinking about it as we speak. So maybe in a year or 2 years, when things really get very big, we will start thinking about how to regulate that.
So for our viewers and listeners who are interested in cryptocurrency, what are some things that they should keep in mind before they enter this?
Number one, you should put the money that you are ready to lose if things do not work very well, because there is a small chance Congress and the President and Federal Reserve will probably come up with a solution that we want to make all the crypto transactions completely illegal. Then we will go out and search and find, and FBI will go after all these. If it is made illegal, then you will lose a lot of money. But then that chance is very small. There is a higher chance that crypto will be accepted, it will be regulated, and it will be monitored very nicely by some central authority like Federal Reserve. Then we will have a much higher stock price. And therefore, there is a lot of uncertainty in that stock. But if you don't mind tackling uncertainty, I think you should go for it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of pushback to regulation, right? With those who are really advocates for cryptocurrency, you know, they say we created this because we don't want the regulation. What do you think about that?
Well, I think nobody wants regulation. I mean, if I'm going to start my money supply, I don't want to be regulated because I want to be rich and I want to control it. But then the general money supply in the US is controlled by Federal Reserve and Treasury, and government doesn't want to lose the whole control of the money supply either. And there is a rational reason for that. I think regulation is very important. You don't want to just leave all the legal tender being issued by some private entity.
I would imagine because of the lack of regulation, that's why we see the volatility, and that's why it is so risky.
Without doubt. I think the volatility will continue as long as we don't have any handle on that.
Oh boy. What do you see as the future of cryptocurrency?
I think future is uncertain. That's only one word to explain it. Because as I said, everything depends upon how government is going to act towards it. If it is accepted just like EU and many other countries, mind well, China, for example, 2 years ago said, we do not want to have any part of crypto. So China has already abandoned it for exchanges in China. And if China can do it, some other countries can do it too. That's one way. Another way is look at the EU, which has made it legal last year, and therefore there are countries. So we can go either way, and that's why there is uncertainty.
Well, I certainly could talk to you all day about this because there are just so many questions surrounding cryptocurrency, but thank you for helping us just provide a little bit more clarity about what exactly this is and the risks that consumers could face if they do decide to enter into this world.
Well, I won't be of much help because nobody knows what the future is.
That is, well, that's true. That's true. Well, thank you for joining us for this Real Talk, Dr.
Thank you very much for having me. Yeah.
We are just getting started with this Real Talk. Coming up, the benefits of digital currencies.
We're talking to an expert about the advantages of crypto and their hopes for the future. This is Real Talk with Denver7 and CPR News. Welcome back to Real Talk with Denver7 and CPR News. I'm Colorado Public Radio's Nathan Heffel.
And I'm Denver7's Micah Smith. We're talking about cryptocurrency. While the digital currency market has been extremely volatile, some investors believe it is very valuable against economic instability.
There's still a lot of interest in crypto worldwide despite its recent bust. In fact, Bitcoin got another big boost in April after its much anticipated halving. Halving happens once every 4 years and is a pre-programmed change that cuts in half the number of new Bitcoins being created.
Bitcoin's creator designed it so there would only be 21 million Bitcoins ever created. In 2016, 12.5 new Bitcoins were added every 10 minutes. By 2020, that amount was halved to 6.25. This year,
it halved again to around 3.125.
The process will continue until all 21 million coins have been mined, which estimates say should happen around the year 2140. By restricting supply, Bitcoin creators aim to boost prices and increase advantages for those who own it.
To find out more about some of those advantages from cryptocurrency, we spoke to expert Serafina Pachan.
Serafina, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So I think one of the first questions I have is that this is such the Wild West, right? That there is so much to learn, so much to understand. You know, crypto is a made-up thing that doesn't really exist in real life. It's not backed by anything. So where does it get its value? I just don't get a lot of it.
Well, if you think about what cryptocurrency is, it's basically just a currency, just like any other, like the US dollar, the yen, the euro.
Yeah.
And all currencies have the same characteristic, which is it's a value for exchange. And cryptocurrency is the most famous one being Bitcoin, I'm sure you've heard of it,
Yeah.
is just something that you use for an exchange. Where it gets confusing is cryptocurrency and the technology it runs on are distinct things, but sometimes they have the same terminology. And when talking about it in the public, you're taking a complex system and you're making it even more confusing by using the same terms for some of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you mine things and you
Yeah.
and you have things, you know, cutting them in half and things, but it's not really a physical thing.
No, but neither is really our dollar either. We can print it out and have a piece of paper, but that's really all it is. We haven't been backed by gold since 1971,
Yeah.
so it's still representative. The difference is cryptocurrency is represented online. It's on technology that will support it. And each cryptocurrencies, there's lots of them. I think around 14 to 20,000 cryptocurrencies out there, different ones. It depends who you ask.
Yeah.
And they all are supported by a specific type of technology.
Yeah. You mentioned the dollar, a traditional financial system in place, and that's worked pretty well overall. Why do we need another one?
That is the best thing about crypto. Yes, we do have this system, but it's based on the old ways of doing things. For example, brick and mortar. The other day, I needed to transfer money from one account to another to make a payment. Unfortunately, I had the unfortunate thing of having to do it on a Friday, which means not only did I have to go in East Coast time, get to it by there, then have everything transferred, everything closes down, and it's not there till Monday. People should have access to their own money. So the benefits of using it online doesn't go to sleep. Cryptocurrency doesn't take weekend hours or holidays. It's fast. It happens right away, and you can access your money, transfer it quickly, easily, and have access to it whenever you need.
Yeah. We talked earlier about this thing called halving.
Having, yes.
Where essentially you're restricting supply of cryptocurrencies. Is that right? To kind of boost the price or to make it more, I guess, restrictive in that sense. Can you explain it to us a little bit deeper?
So there's a couple of different things that you're talking about. One is, why is the price where it is?
Yeah.
The other is the supply that's happening. And then the third thing is, you're talking specifically about Bitcoin, the
I see.
Bitcoin happening that happened. Not all cryptocurrencies work the same. They all have their different rules and guidelines and how they're produced and managed and transferred. Just like the US dollar is managed a little differently than, say, the yen. They don't work quite the same, and they work in different systems, but they can be exchanged. Halving is specific to Bitcoin, where the technology that produces the supply of Bitcoin, the miners, are now being given half of the rewards for doing the mining. So if you're searching for gold, you're out there and you're digging, pretend you're going to now find half of what you would have found previously. The value or the price of a Bitcoin, in this case is what example you're using, is different. It's not having to create value, it's changing the supply, which can have an effect, but the value comes from the ecosystem. just like the US dollar. There's an ecosystem around it. There are banks, there's community, there's programs, there's your app, there's phones, there's printed dollars, there's all sorts of stuff, and everybody has agreed to use it and to use it as an exchange. It's not backed by anything anymore, so we have to have agreement. The same exact thing happens in crypto. There are now people that have developed lots of programs. There are people using it, people accepting it. Last month, I had to renew my car registration in Denver. Right there it was, an option, pay with crypto. So it's being adopted, it's so far and wide now that it's now becoming part of our own culture.
Seraphine, I feel like there are three camps when it comes to cryptocurrency. Those who are all in, know everything about it, those who are more traditionally minded when it comes to financial banking, finances and banking, that is. And then there are a ton of people in the middle who are like, that all goes over my head.
Yeah, me.
I don't know what's happening. Is this just another fad, or is this something we should all pay more attention to? Should we all be trying to figure out what crypto is and maybe where we stand?
Okay, it's an excellent question. No, my opinion is absolutely not a fad. 30 years ago, some people would have said the internet was a fad. And now, what was a couple of web pages is now the internet is on, not just on our phones or on a computer, we wear it. It's in our light switches, it's on little devices, in our kitchen, it's in our car, it's everywhere. Eventually, people are going to be interacting with crypto, whether they want to or not, because it's just becoming that ingrained into the ecosystem. Now, that being said, yeah, I don't think you should ignore it. You should somehow try to engage and learn more about it. And those people in the middle, what's interesting about a lot of the crypto, for example, NFTs come from that world, is that it is being adopted by a lot of non-tech people, artists, creatives. My physical therapist a couple of months ago asked me, hey, when I went to pay, she says, how do I start accepting crypto? She says, I don't want to miss out. She doesn't know how it works. She knows nothing about it. She just knows that it's here and everyone's talking about it, and she doesn't want to miss out. There will always be people who don't want things to change, though.
I think there's this talk that this is new, and there are things, some people know a lot, some people know nothing, some people know a little bit. I know that there have been investors who have built people out of money because of a false, cryptocurrency. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, the fact that this is kind of the Wild West, and there are people who are going to be taken advantage of and say, hey, give me all this money, and you get this Bitcoin, and it doesn't do anything, and then you're, it seems like a scam.
The technology and the cryptocurrency is not a scam. It's a tool. However, with every new thing and confusion and complex systems, people love to take advantage. Bad actors come in and want to take advantage of you. One of the best ways to avoid that sort of thing for the average population is to work with a reputable company, work with somebody who is local to you, where you know the system. For example, there's going to be a very different oversight between, say, a company that is based in the United States and, say, North Korea or China. Not because there's anything necessarily inherently wrong with how they do something, but we don't get that access. We don't know what's happening. They're not going to be open. But here, there's much more transparency with how it works.
All right.
And so you'll have a much safer option.
Yeah.
I appreciate that breakdown. I feel like we're learning so much about crypto.
Yes.
we didn't know anything, but you helped a lot, Seraphina. So Seraphina Pashan, a tech entrepreneur and cryptocurrency expert, thank you so much for joining us for this Real Talk.
Thank you so much.
There's more to come on this Real Talk.
Next, how Colorado has emerged as a leader in the world of cryptocurrency and everyday applications right here in our state.
This is Real Talk with Denver7 and CPR News.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Denver7 and CPR News. I'm Denver7's Micah Smith.
And I'm Colorado Public Radio's Nathan Heffel. Many governments across the world have questioned the applications of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, but Colorado has been at the forefront of implementing its uses every day.
You may have noticed the option to pay your state taxes in cryptocurrency when you filed this year. That's because back in 2022, Colorado became the first state in the country to accept crypto for tax payments.
At the time, Executive Director of Colorado's Department of Revenue, Mark Ferrandino, said the state would protect itself by not actually holding the digital currency.
Cryptocurrency does have volatility. We look at minimizing risk to the state. Someone who would want to pay their taxes through cryptocurrency would go to an exchange, facilitate that payment through the exchange, and then that exchange would convert the cryptocurrency into cash, and then that cash would come into the state.
Last year, the Colorado DMV also started accepting cryptocurrency for driver's license renewals and for registrations.
People who want to pay with cryptocurrency are directed to PayPal, where they can select their desired currency, which will then be converted to dollars and sent to the DMV.
These everyday uses aren't limited to just our local governments. Even smaller businesses are trying to get in on the hype.
So if you've ever wanted to get into the luxury hotel business, the St. Regis Hotel in Aspen offers a unique opportunity. I sat down with the owner of the hotel and found out how the average person can own part of the property.
Embedded at the base of Aspen Mountain sits this 5-star luxury hotel, the St. Regis Aspen. And for a couple $1,000s, you can stay here for a few nights or even own a portion of the hotel.
4 years ago, we decided to innovate in the field of hotel ownership.
St. Regis Aspen owner Stefan Debates announced he's releasing 20% of ownership to the public. But to take full advantage of this opportunity, you'll need to venture into the world of cryptocurrency and buy Aspen coins. Digital currency rates constantly fluctuate, but currently one Aspen coin is equal to $3.37.
You open an account and you decide to buy as little as $100, $1,000, $10,000. But the beauty is you are actually a true owner in this property.
That means you get 20 to 50% cash back for every stay, depending on the number of coins you purchase, plus a goodie bag filled with luxury items.
There are over 17,000 different tradable digital assets right now.
Josh Finkelman, co-founder and managing partner of BXE Capital, the first digital assets investment firm in Colorado, says cryptocurrency can be confusing, but embracing the technology has benefits. Finkelman says what the St. Regis is doing is cutting edge.
They're tokenizing the ownership units, physical, real estate.
The world of ownership of hotel is very incestuous.
Debates says by offering the public ownership and using digital currency to do it, he hopes to increase diversity in the luxury hotel business, first in Aspen, then at other luxury properties across the world.
Now, right now, Aspen coin can only be used at the St. Regis in Aspen, but Debates hopes to expand its use for other hotels. What do you think about that?
It's so confusing. So many different types of crypto coins. It's a little bit scary to dip your foot into that, but there are many options, it seems.
There are many options, and there's also, the fact that you could own part of a luxury hotel.
Yes.
That's tempting.
That is tempting.
But
Maybe you and I
risky.
can get in and do it together.
Okay.
No?
Maybe. Okay. We'll think about it.
And that's this week's episode of Real Talk with Denver7 and CPR News. Each week we have a real talk on issues that impact Coloradans who are often overlooked.
You can find all of our shows on denver7.com/realtalk or at cpr.org/realtalk. Have a great day.